Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Winds. Our guest is Craig Taylor, co-founder of CyberHoot, with a special offer for free individual personal training for life, cyberhoot.com individuals. Plus the special offer of 20% off CyberHoot for 1 year using one of the following coupon codes: Creative Insight or East Trade Winds.
Craig Taylor here. I run a company that teaches cyber literacy skills, and we give it away free for individuals. We consult with businesses. You'll see the links in the chat for our newsletter and for free training for individuals. So if any of you want to boost your cyber literacy, go to the individuals link and sign up, and you'll get sent videos. There's no attack phishing. There's no trickery involved. We will send you interactive simulations that talk you through phishing to teach you how to phish, feeding you for a lifetime. So a lot's been happening in cybersecurity that probably has gone unnoticed. There's a conference in Las Vegas every year in August called the Black Hat Briefings, and it's a collection of government agencies, white hat and black hat hackers who get together to talk about what's happening. And one of the presentations was around phishing, and they're saying in that presentation, which we'll get into, that phishing doesn't work. So what I'm here to talk about is the science of phishing and conclusions from both psychology. My background 30 years ago was a psychology degree, not computer science, and empirical research studies. So we're going to talk about the black hat, empirical research. If we use psychology as our guide to learn this stuff, and then what we ought to do is look at positive reinforcement and rewards when we're running our businesses and consulting with people about learning cybersecurity skills. So there was a study that was published at Black Hat of 19,000 employees in a large healthcare provider, and their conclusions were interesting. Over 8 months, over 50% of the people they tested clicked on phishing links based on their ability to craft messages that were appealing to the employees. That's a huge failure rate. And clearly it indicates that the training they were receiving alongside the fake email measures was not working. The training led to about a 1.7% difference versus a control group that got no training. Can you imagine if you were selling, any of you, a lot of us on here are providing services. If we said, oh, I can guarantee you'll improve by 1.7% over 8 months. We're not talking like atomic habits, 1% a day. We're saying over 8 months is not going to be a good sale. And the problem that they found was people stopped listening. They disengaged. The 50th percentile for watching videos that were assigned to teach people how to not make the same mistake again was 10 seconds. So really it wasn't working. And we knew this from other empirical research. There was a study from the University of Zurich 4 years ago of 14,000 employees and 15 months. And it concluded that employees receiving fake email phishing tests that we're all familiar with. This is where you get an email in your inbox from an IT provider and it says, your Netflix account has expired, click here to reset it, or change your password or whatever. And if you click, you failed the test. Those tests can make employees even more susceptible to phishing. Here's an article from the Wall Street Journal 2 years ago about not testing employees because it creates stress and distrust in your employees without significantly improving things. And then the last study was the one the University of Chicago and San Diego published it. Everything points to a failure of the industry. Now, why is that? Because they don't use psychology as their guide. They're using the single goal is to stop you from clicking and punishing clicks. Well, when you punish anyone for anything, it might stop the behavior for a moment, but in the absence of that punishment threat, it returns. If you want to change behavior, psychology says you have to reinforce the behaviors you want. Here's Skinner from 75 years ago, B.F. Skinner. He said, if you reinforce a behavior, you increase the likelihood it will occur again. That's what's lost on the whole cybersecurity industry today. Here's another study, which is a little more esoteric, but they found earlier rewards increased intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic is important. You want to create a motivation within your staff, within your clients, within your employees to do these behaviors over and over again to avoid clicking on bad links, to learn cyber literacy skills. So The whole of this, the message, is what we've built at CyberHoot is based completely on rewards and reinforcement. When you sign up for our platform in your company or in the clients you support, they become enrolled in a system of gamification where you start off with this beautiful little fluffy hatchling on the left. And as you complete assignments, you move across towards the wise owl sage. And we know employees love this because they email support. My cubicle mate is ahead of me. Why is that possible? We've done the same number of assignments. Well, good sir, you were late doing your assignments, so you got fewer points, and you didn't get 100% perfect scoring on the test. You got 83%, which is enough to pass, but your colleague got perfect scores on time. The first and foremost thing that happens with our testing is that people pass a test. They don't fail a test. So that creates more engagement. We teach them the rubric. I like to say we teach people how phishing works. So you are fed for a lifetime of processing email safely and securely. We give certificates of completion, which is a reward in of itself, but you also have oftentimes personal development hour requirements within your field of study. We give you 15 minutes towards every one of those. So all along the way, we satisfy your desire to learn how this stuff works. And you can see our last week's training measurements. We measure after every test. If you want to give us a rating, you can say thumbs up, thumbs down, give us some comments. Here's our average from last week on fish training, 82%. That compares to an industry average of 0% of people who like being fooled with gotcha emails. And then people recognize that, hey, you know what? I'm doing this at work, but I can confidently do my personal work as well. So all of that is pretty cool stuff. The conclusions are, today cyber awareness training suffers from apathy and disengagement, something we all battle against, to be heard, to be understood. And in my world, that's to be safe. And if you can't get people to engage and to listen and to learn, you've lost the battle, which is what cybersecurity is unfortunately struggling with right now. Disengagement stems from repeated failures and punishment. Think about dog training. If you went to a dog park and you put a shock collar on the dog, how successful are you going to be at teaching it skills when you zap it every time it makes a mistake? Versus giving it treats when it does the things you want. You're going to be far more successful. Or parenting. I'm sure many of you are parents. If your child has a temper tantrum, do you scold and punish the temper tantrum, or do you teach coping skills and then reward the child when they show those coping skills the next time? Guess what happens? They repeat those behaviors. So why then do we punish people for failing phishing tests? We should not. Engagement comes from reinforcement. It comes from increased engagement and intrinsic motivation over time. And everything the industry is struggling with and the numbers of breaches that happen are because it's all following the wrong model. We need a multidisciplinary approach, which is what we've built into our platform at CyberHoot.
Unlock the full potential of networking with East Trade Wins. Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of connections? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online via Zoom every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at wayne@motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait. Take action and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.